In terms of being on the global stage, I move on to our next speaker, our guest speaker this evening, who is the former Prime Minister and President of the Czech Republic, a staunch Eurosceptic, a passionate defender of democracy and the nation state. He also doesn't believe in political correctness. That sounds popular. Before we welcome President Klaus to the stage, it's fantastic to have him with us. Let's just see him in action on the video.
He was born during the Nazi occupation. He lived during the communist regime. He fought against the EU in order to defend his people and democracy.
Some people who take freedom and democracy for granted are not able to understand. I don't need the European unification. Would you be ready to get rid of your government and to create a different government?
There was one wonderful, bright, uplifting moment during the Czech presidency, and I am of course referring to the visit of Václav Klaus. What a wonderful speech that was. Coming into this chamber and telling a few home truths and pointing out that European parliamentarians and leaders are not listening to the peoples of Europe, at which 200 of you got up and walked out of the room.
I definitely tried to keep the Czech Republic as a sovereign country, as a free country. Europe needs a radical political process.
Brexit needs a Brexit party. It is great that Nigel Farage created one.
Please welcome to the stage Václav Klaus.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear Brexit friends, I am extremely honored, extremely pleased to be asked to come here this evening and to address your political gathering. I must tell you that I am not used to speak abroad. Abroad I speak quite often, but not on such political campaign rallies. So it's not that easy for me in a foreign language, and especially after such an incredible speaker, you know. I am afraid I can't compete. I would like to start with something what you should know, and you probably don't know, that you have many friends in the Czech Republic. Many friends generally, and many friends connected with Brexit. That's very important. I have to tell you that in the moment when we first heard the results of the Brexit referendum, many Czechs opened champagne bottles, and it was a great event, not just for you, for us as well. You know, we consider considered it not only your victory, it was a victory of all European democrats. It was an important message. The Brexit referendum was not only about Great Britain, I must tell you. It was about Europe as a whole, and in this respect, it was about the Czech Republic as well. So many thanks for that. We the Czechs are in many respects the same or similar critics of the EU arrangements, of the EU post-democracy, of the EU non-sensitivity and arrogance, of the EU non-democratic substance. We similarly, as you want to make decisions about ourselves, about our country in Prague, the same as you want to make decisions about your country here in London, not in Brussels. It is that simple. All other interpretations are wrong and purposefully misleading. Your Brexit decision was a historic event. It changed Europe. It was also a fatal blow to the pride of all European mandarins, to the pride of the whole European Union nomenclatura. Many people, however, wrongly supposed that Brexit has been achieved just by the referendum. They were wrong. The EU political elites didn't want to accept the Brexit decisions, and they didn't want to find a positive solution. They wanted to punish, to denigrate, to humiliate Great Britain as much as possible. They also wanted to demonstrate to all of us in the rest of Europe, in all other EU member states, that there is no friendly exit from the EU, and that especially the small countries don't have a chance to leave the EU. That was their ambition to demonstrate. The EU behavior asked for a resolute, clear, and decisive British stance. It, to our great regret, and I am sure to your great regret, didn't come. Such as your country was and stays divided, was and stays hesitant, your politicians were not able to react. They probably didn't expect such a merciless and ruthless EU behavior. Not to expect it was, however, a great mistake. As I look at it from Prague at a distance, the British main political parties totally failed. And they totally failed and betrayed and abandoned the British citizens, their voters. It had, however, one positive side effect. by doing it, by behaving in this way, they probably unwillingly created the Brexit Party. They created you and they helped you very much in this respect. I know that you didn't plan, you didn't intend to participate in these European elections, but I'm sorry to say you have to. Without you, without my good friend Nigel Farage, without the whole Brexit party, the British, I'm afraid, the British indecisiveness would continue. You have to win the elections and to get a strong mandate to influence the political stances of your country. One last remark. I have a relatively recent, 27 years ago, experience with a special exit. Some of you may remember 27 years ago, Czechoslovakia was divided into two parts, now Czech Republic and Slovakia. It was a sort of exit. It was a Slovak exit from the Czechoslovak Federation. And I was the main organizer of that split, of the decision. And I always suggested that I could voluntarily come to London to help you with Brexit, but you didn't ask me, however. So you didn't ask me, however. But what we learned one important thing. We both, the Czech part and the Slovaks, wanted to find a solution. That was a totally different situation, because in your case, just Great Britain wanted to find a solution, whereas the EU nomenclatura didn't want it. So that was a big difference. Dear Brexit friends, you should, in the forthcoming elections, you should give to all of us, you should give the whole rest of Europe a good example. Many Europeans need it, and many are waiting for it. Don't disappoint them. I am really glad to be here with you tonight. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much, President Klaus, for your support, for your encouragement, for your advice, and for your wisdom. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is proof of the international recognition of the Brexit Party, proof of the opportunities that await us if we do a proper WTO Brexit.